Love is simply one word. It's unspoken. The foundation of life. What is this all about? There is no greater narcotic on this planet. You can line them all up and it won't come close to the dopamine hit that you get from love. Because love don't even have to touch you to make you feel some kind of way special. How many times somebody got to tell you that they love you before you actually believe them? Or maybe it's just that you don't love yourself enough to not be worried about it. See? You expect somebody to make you happy. He don't make me happy. She don't make me happy. He don't talk to me enough. She don't do this. He don't do that. Well, what do you do for yourself? All that got to come from within. Whenever somebody asks you or tell you that, hey, you don't make me happy. I don't think you make me happy. You're not making me happy anymore. Are they really happy with themselves? And are you happy with yourselves? Because I encourage everyone to first and foremost love yourself before you even entertain a thought of loving someone else. You can get a better understanding of all this if you just tune into The Art of Love with Dr. O. And I'm yours truly, Dr. O. The five most common problems of marriage, I explained that. Trust, sex, excitement, communication, and finances. Well, what is the Trinity? Well, you find two people that love each other, that can appreciate the gift of life that you bring to the relationship. That may be two men, one lady, or two ladies and one man. Three incomes is better than one. This is how society is governed throughout the world. But, they don't allow that to be exposed here in America. I remember I was watching an episode of Family Feud, and Steve Harvey, he said to this young lady, your mother must be a very beautiful woman. And the young lady looked at him puzzled, and she looked at her sisters, and she said, you mean my mother's? And Steve Harvey was blown away. Yes. See, as crazy as we think it is for someone to have several moms, that's how they look at us and say, only one. Life is hard enough as it is, but the more the merrier, And so you have communication. And hypothetical, still, let's put you into this equation, Steve. So you find two young ladies that love each other, that can appreciate the gift of life that you bring to the relationship. If the young ladies are always talking on the phone with each other and they're communicating and say the things that they would do for each other, they'll die for each other. Well, what better thing to do than to share the person you love with each other? And you guys be a happy family. Now you have three incomes. The two young ladies communicate, all three of you communicate. And see, two people can argue with each other. But when you have a third one, it's easier to accept that maybe it's you. See? And, I don't really care to get into the sexual situation, but if anybody's not in the mood, somebody's in the mood. And if all three, hey, the more the merrier. And then when it comes time for the finances, Steve, as a man, to fulfill your soul, you can provide. And from one of the other young ladies that like to spend money, then she can have that check to spend. And the other one can use for saving and investing. Well, how might that work? Well, instead of getting a house here in California or apartment, let's just go down to the nanosism. A studio apartment in Covina, $2,500. Minimum wage, even a decent job. Who can finance that? Well, instead of, Steve, you trying to find a one bedroom for $2,500, how about you just rent a room in a house, a nice house? All three of you get in there with a king size bed. And we're talking about survival, Steve. We're talking about you letting go of the stress of being stressed out about yesterday and the future and all that. All three of you guys get in there. You guys love each other. Get three cars, $1,300 a piece, whatever. Pay him off. You don't have no car notes. Get a good mechanic. I'm teaching you survival, Steve. Okay? So now everybody has transportation. You feel like a man. You're providing. You got the blow check. And you have the saving and investing check. And now since you've saved so much money, you guys can clean up the credit. You're still enjoying life. You can still go to the mall, buy those clothes and those shoes because she got the blow check. And we're not worried about anything because that's what that check is for, to be blown. The bills are always paid on time, got a roof over your head, got a car. Everything's good, even saving money. You can't save money on minimum wage. You can barely save making $100,000. But with this three piece, yeah, now you fix up your credit. Your credit's so good, your money's saved up. Now you can get the house. You can actually get the house. Get the house. You can actually move in your garage and rent out all the rooms. And now a house isn't a house, but it's a small apartment complex that you can manage that will pay for itself, give you finance, and allow you to live for free, Steve. And then you can go get another and another and elevate. See, no one's going to tell you this because that person that has his foot on your neck, it probably is in their best interest for you to know these things. But imagine that. Imagine being free of the financial bondage. And all you have to do is say to yourself, was I lied to? Is it in my best interest to listen to someone that has their foot on my neck? All you have to do is find two other people that feel like you do. Apply the Trinity and elevate. You know, it's easy to sit in the comfort of a beautiful home. You're making 100,000, 75,000. Then, you know, when you're at the bottom, ain't nobody coming to knock on your door to give you nothing. It's hard. I've been there. I've done that. And that's why I can say this.
Look, my daughter right now, she wants to have a nonprofit. I'm definitely saying I'm the machine behind it. And I
How
go,
old is she?
yeah, she's 14. But I told her, look, I'm the
Love man,
listen.
did you hear that?
Listen to me though.
Non-profit, 14.
But,
Is
hey,
that
but
beautiful?
listen to
Is
me.
that not beautiful?
But listen to me though. I go and she like, you know, I made her some shirts because I, you know, that's another thing I do. I made shirts, and then she said, "Daddy, I need some more shirts." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you know, as soon as you get some money." And she looking at me. I said, "I tell you what, I got a plan for you. We'll go out, you know, we'll get the shirts. I would take you out on the boardwalk. You can sell the shirts for this amount. You know what I mean? And I'll go do it." She was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Okay, cool. You don't want no shirts.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to continue just to give you stuff that you say that you want and have me just keep on investing, but you're not putting the work in. The minute that you want to go, if it costs me $6 for a shirt and I want you to go and sell it for 15, and if I'm willing to take you out there to go ahead and get my money back, I just want to break even.
Right.
You can have the profit.
Right.
And if you don't want to do the work to sell the shirt, then I'm not gonna invest in that. I'm not. That's a dead investment for me. And if you feel that's unfair, then okay, great.
At 14, that's beautiful.
Listen, but if you feel that at 25, when you want to go and spend, you know, and get something to be done, you understand why.
People definitely appreciate it more when it's their money.
Right. Yeah. Right. So you have to, you know, I have no problem with investing in your dream. That is my job to do.
Right.
But in that, you have to understand that there's a value to that.
Right.
And the problem now with how just the generational thing is, you know, everything comes so easy, and it just should be, you know. We got to get into
who made you who you are is the things that you went through in your life and 100%. How you was raised. But Did we soften up? Did we
I
soften
think
up?
society did. Society 100% did.
You gonna blame society?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look. Here's the thing, man. Look, I tell this, and I know we got to get out of here. It's been a while, but I'll leave everybody with this, and I hope you guys really like understand this perspective. My grandfather, man. I mean, to me, it was like one of the greatest men that ever lived. I mean, my father was great, but my grandfather, he was
That's
the one.
awesome.
He was the one, right? And I'll never forget. We were just playing, and I was sitting on the chair and sitting and on the arm of the chair, and he was telling me to get off the chair, and I was just laughing, and he told me to get off the chair. And then the third time he told me to get off the chair, he said, "Hey man, if you don't get off the chair, then I'm gonna give you a whooping." He ain't never whooped me before in my life, never whooped me before, right? So, I'm just playing, whatever. He got up, right, and he went and got that belt, right. And I had never in my life been whooped like that. Never.
Oh,
right? And it felt like he was getting like adrenaline. My grandmother was just trying to get him to get off me.
Yeah.
Right? He put me to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He put me to sleep. I woke up and my mom was there, right?
Yes.
And then but at that moment, I said, I'll never get a whooping by him again, no matter what. Right. And then, time went past and everything. And then I wanted my bike seat to get raised. And we was out in the backyard. And he was like, hey, Grandpa, I called him Papa. Papa, put my seat up. Oh, boy, I didn't do that today. Put everything back in the garage and go in the house. And I'm like, so I had the idea that I was going to leave my bike out. And I closed the garage and locked it up. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to put my seat up. Right. And so then I went in there, laid down, and watched TV. And he walked in, opened the door, and said, Michael, how come you didn't put your bike up? And I said, because I wanted you to raise my seat. And it was like slow motion. The door opened up. He came with that belt. I was already on the ground. I was like, Grandma, I needed somebody to come, and he got me, right?
Uh-huh.
But look at this, though. I was mad at myself.
Why?
Because I knew better.
Right.
I knew better.
Right.
The first time I didn't know better.
Right.
And the first time I said, I swore I would never, ever get a whooping by him again.
Right.
Second time, I wasn't even mad at him.
Right.
I was mad he put me to sleep the first time.
Right.
Wasn't mad at him the second time, right? You know what I mean? Because I knew better.
Right.
But nowadays, we can't do things like that, right?
Yeah.
We have to go and we have to put restrictions and prevent certain things. And now what they say, it takes 21 days for a habit to go. They get mad. So I have to tell my kids, like, look, the things I'm doing for you right now, I got to get you to the point where you are no longer mad at me and you're mad at yourself.
Right.
For what's happening.
Because you know better.
But that's going to take 21 days now. Mine, it took me 2 whoopings.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do me a favor. Do me a
that's
favor.
The difference.
Do me a favor, Mike.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but please understand this. The next time you look in the mirror, tell your grandfather I said hi.
All right. I will.
Because that's
went
nowhere.
It's an amazing thing, man. I tell you, like, when you can't get that back. And so yeah, it's gonna be really, really
okay.
great.
Love Angels.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this to you. A lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about my man Mike. Some of them call it hater Mike, but as you can see, nothing's changed. He's full of love, and he got nothing but love to give you. And sometimes the truth hurts. It hurts. When he's on Infinity Nation, he's probably just giving y'all the truth. And sometimes that's just a hard pill to swallow. But as you can see today, it comes from nothing but love. So please remember, all my love angels out there in Love Land, until next time, you make sure that loving you is a priority thing for you to do. Appreciate you, Mike.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Good stuff.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Oh, wow. This is an anonymous question. Let's find out, Love Angels, why this person is anonymous. There has to be a reason why they're anonymous. They don't want somebody to know who they are. So, Dr. O, I'm cheating on my girlfriend with my ex-wife. I guess we know why they're anonymous, huh? I'm thinking I want to rekindle things and get back together with her. My girlfriend is great. I love her, and we have no issues. Plus, my ex-wife and our marriage didn't go so necessarily so well. And I keep thinking about that. That's on my mind. Should I leave or should I stay? What should I do? Well, anonymous one, you have to understand your question that you asked. I'm cheating. Remember, I always tell you, no one on this planet is capable of being greater than you just being yourself. There is only one you out of 8 billion. And once you come into the understanding of loving thyself and knowing thyself, that out of 8 billion, there's only one you, and no human being is capable of being greater than one being oneself, then I can apply that to this question you have. I'm cheating on my girlfriend with my ex-wife. Me and my girlfriend have no issues. So you know that your girlfriend is a good person. You know that she has no issues. And you know that you can't cheat on a good thing. You can only cheat on yourself to lose it. When you know who you are, remember, out of 8 billion, there's only one you, and no human being is capable of being greater than you being yourself, then no one could ever cheat on you. No one could ever lie to you. They can only cheat on themselves and lie to themselves to lose you. So if you're willing to cheat on yourself and lie to yourself to lose someone with no issues, by all means. But there's repercussions that come with that, and it might be far greater than what one is willing to bear. For you not to have any issues in your relationship, that truly means that the universe gave you a gift. And when the universe gives you a gift, sometimes it's once in a lifetime. And I know, you're reminiscing about the good times that you had with your ex, but I'm going to tell you something about that. The reason why you broke up, sooner or later will present itself. And hopefully in the process of that, it won't destroy the relationship you have with no issues. I'm very glad that you're anonymous, Mr. Anonymous, because you need to protect the relationship that you have with no issues. If you talk to most people, their relationship has issues. And for you to have one with none, you might want to think twice about that. Let's get to the next one here. And that would be from Sadie from Mojave. I've been with my husband for 10 years. And we've been married for 5. Everything's great about him, except it's always a but, huh? Isn't there always a but? Everything's great about him, but he only lasts 5 minutes. I don't want to leave or cheat on him, but I need to come. Do you think if I do find someone that can help me just one time, would it be okay? Do you think just one time, would it be okay? You've already answered that question. Do you think, would it be okay? You already know. But I will say this. It's your fault. What do you mean it's my fault? It's your fault. Explain, do tell, I shall. Well, I say it like this. There was a comedian that he asked the members in the audience, how many of you ladies out there have a man that can go 5 minutes? And all the ladies raised their hand, and all the mans, they was shaking their head like, yeah, I'm that guy. And the comedian said, any of y'all have a man that can go 15 minutes? And the girls raised their hand, the men shook their head, yeah, I'm that guy. And he said, some of y'all might be lying. I'm gonna keep on pushing this until y'all stop raising y'all hand. He said, any of y'all got anybody that can go 30 minutes? And a lot of ladies raised their hand, and the guy sitting next to them moved their head up and down like, yeah, that'll be me. He said, come on, y'all. Y'all got to be lying. What about 45 minutes? And they still raising their hand, and the guy's head is so big he probably can't even walk out the building. He said, I'm going to just end it like this because y'all lying to me. Any of y'all got a man that can go over an hour without having an orgasm? And some ladies raised their hand, and the man sitting next to him shook their head like, yeah, I'm that guy. Head so big, oh my God. And then the comedian simply stated after that, well, I have to be honest with you. I couldn't do it. I'm probably good for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, no more than 3. And the reason why is because my girl actually has some good equipment down there that make it happen for me. And he didn't say it exactly like that, but you can get my drift. I'm trying to keep it clean, but he tried to say, hey, my girl's stuff is good. He said, any man that can be in you for over an hour and not have an orgasm, your stuff is whack. And the whole audience fell out, and the ladies, they lowered their head, and they was like embarrassed. Because think about that. You're complaining right now, Sandy, that your man can't last 5 minutes. Don't be mad at yourself for your cookies being good. What you can do is they have some ointments and some pills and stuff out there that will allow him to last a marathon, which if that's your choosing. And there's some tricks you can do before that. You know, you can also have a pre-engagement so that he can go ahead and empty his tank a little bit and go around for the second time. That should allow him to push a little bit longer. There's tricks and trades out there. You know, there's things out there, Sadie. Don't mess up your marriage just because you want something that can last 5 minutes. You might be opening up a can of worms that, yeah, you'll have somebody go over 5 minutes, but he ain't gonna help you pay them bills, man. You know, Edison, that mortgage, that rent, that car note, you know, and all it takes is just one time and all that be thrown out the window. Is it worth it? You know, my friend told me, hey, all right, you know, ladies always talking about this, but it ain't that. It's what it's attached to. And if that's attached to something that's homeless and is not going to help you pay the bills, you might want to think twice. I would say, hey, look at those ointments and those pills and, hey, have a little recreation workout before you get into the main event, and everything should be fine, Sadie. It should be fine. Going into the next one, Dan from San Antonio. I love my wife, but her mama's up. Woo! I'm thinking about asking my wife to relocate so I don't have to see her. Am I wrong? Asking your wife to relocate so you won't have to see her mom, that's a waste of time. Don't ask her to relocate. You can ask your wife if she can possibly manage that just a little bit better, but you can't relocate the mom, because if you really look at your wife, you're looking at her mom. And as time goes by, you're going to see she might become her mom. You know, these are things that you should have took in consideration before you married her, because you just wasn't marrying her. You was marrying her mom. In some relationships, the mom has a relationship with the daughter that's so strong that the mom is the husband. So you have to think twice about that. You know, that word that you use, you don't want to use that. If you love your wife, never use that word about her mom, because without her mom, your wife wouldn't exist. I would say, see if there's something that you can do to make your relationship better with her mom. And if her mom is controlling, then that's something that your wife has to work out with her mom. But see if there's something that you can do to make your relationship better with her mom. And never, ever, ever use that word about her mom, because even though you say it and her daughter can say, I understand, no one wants to hear that about their mom. So, Dan from San Antonio, it's not easy. I've been there. I've done that. I had to learn how to accept and love my kid's mom's mother. And our relationship is good. So I know it's possible. All you have to do is just ask yourself, what can I do to make my relationship better? Well, I'm going to wrap this all up, my love angels, and say this. Remember, everything starts with you loving you. You can't love no one else until you love thyself. You can't master this universe beyond you until you learn to master the universe that exists inside of you. And until next time, make sure that loving you is a priority thing for you to do. Appreciate you, and I love you.